On today's episode, we talk about hotel fees, the kind that should make you think twice. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is episode 2 of Explore Informed, a show where we dig into the details of travel, investigate an interesting topic, or attempt to answer a common question, all with the goal of hopefully learning something new. So the next time we travel, we explore better informed. Once again, my name is Ben, and I am a travel enthusiast, but I am not a travel expert. I am simply taking you along on my journey as I try to learn something new about the travel industry. And as a reminder, I want to feature your questions, your tips, your feedback, and your experiences on this show so that we can all learn from one another. So if you have an experience to share, helpful tips on something we discuss, or even a correction to something that I say, which is probably unreliable, please comment below or hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. So with that said, let's go. Today's question is, why do some hotels charge crazy hidden fees? I don't know about you, but I do not have a high tolerance for fees or hidden charges on a vacation. The last thing I need is unexpected charges adding to what is probably already a pretty pricey trip. And some fees, such as resort fees, which may cover things like hotel gym access or internet, are fairly common now, despite travelers hating them. And while they are often exorbitant, frustrating, and seemingly unnecessary, it is not hard to find out if your hotel charges a resort fee. In my recent experiences, most hotel websites clearly communicate during the booking process that a daily resort fee applies, and the daily fee amount is most often clearly displayed, which seems to be as much as $30 or $40 per night these days. I'm not saying the fee is a good deal, I'm just saying it seems resort fees are more transparent today than they have been in the past. With that said, I wish travelers of the world could somehow rally together and unite and push back against resort fees. Even if hotels just baked it into the daily room rate, personally, I think I would be more likely to feel like I was getting a better value on my vacation than if I was slapped with an extra $30 or $40 per night when I go to check out. However, we can probably talk for several episodes about resort fees, and maybe we will at a later date. Instead, today I want to focus on another type of fee that I recently discovered, a fee that Marriott refers to as the extra person fee. For the last several months, I have been toying with the idea of booking a vacation at the JW Marriott Los Cabos in Mexico. The JW Marriott is one of Marriott's luxury brands on the higher end of their brand spectrum. And every time I try to price out a stay for my family of 4 at this specific property, so my family of 4 is myself, my wife, my 5-year-old, and my 2-year-old, Marriott adds on an extra person fee for the stay. Now, I can potentially understand an extra person fee if I'm trying to jam 4 or 5 adults into a standard hotel room, but that is obviously not what I'm doing in this case. And to give you an idea of the size of this fee, when pricing out a 5-night stay, the fee came to a whopping $690. Now, to provide a bit of an additional context, this was not a $1,000 per night room. In fact, it was quite the opposite, especially for a JW Marriott. Instead, I was looking at a nightly room rate of only $233 for a deluxe ocean view queen room. A $690 fee on a $233 per night room represents a fee equivalent to 59% of the total cost of the room over 5 nights. Again, in my case, my kids are only 5 and 2. They are not adults or even young adults. So being me, I stewed about this fee for quite a while and eventually reached out to Marriott for clarification, both online and over the phone. And interestingly, I received 2 totally different explanations, one which makes sense and one which does not. I will start off with the phone call to Marriott Rewards customer service, the phone line for Marriott's loyalty program members. My goal for this call was twofold. First, to determine if Marriott actually assesses this fee, and second, understand what am I paying for with this fee. I presented this potential issue to the customer service representative, and we went back and forth for a few minutes while I made sure she could see the extra person fee on her end. Once she saw it, her explanation essentially was that the extra person fee applies during on-peak times so the hotel could make more money. Yeah, I was looking at the JW Marriott in Los Cabos, and it assigns an extra person fee of like $700 when I try to look at like a 5-day reservation. And so I mean, I'm trying to figure out if is that really a fee that you guys assess, and if so, what's it for?
I know Los Cabos is a resort property, so let's see. And you were talking about the JW Marriott?
Right. Yeah, it's not all inclusive. Like if it's all inclusive, I could see adding a fee that makes sense because there's other charges associated, but it's not an all inclusive property at all. It just if I take my kids off, that goes away. And I would understand too if it was like marginal, like $50 or something, but $690 for a room rate that's like a couple $100 seems.
Let me look here. So I hit the $429 rate, and it breaks it down. Let me see if I can get a total stay here. So, yeah, I do see that. So they do require extra person's fee.
Okay.
It kind of varies. Like in March, that's kind of like going towards spring break. So that's going to be an on-peak time. That's when they're going to make their big bucks because everybody from college wants to go to the beach. Now we have on-peak times and off-peak times. So they're on-peak times. A lot of the resorts will have the extra person fee because they know they're going to be able to make that money as far as revenue. And off-peak times, you won't see that extra person charge.
Okay.
Because it's not a high travel time. In March, that is going to be a high travel time because, like I said, it's spring break. People are booking vacations because everybody's getting out of school, and so they know that they can throw that extra person charge on there because they know they can make that money.
So a few notes about that. I asked the representative to provide me or to define off-peak, and I was provided winter as an example, which makes sense, I guess, but I've also seen very high room rates in the winter, as people flee the cold weather for a brief respite on the beach in Mexico. Second, the representative mentioned March dates because those are the last dates we discuss when comparing what she saw online to what I saw online. However, I told the representative earlier on the call that the dates don't really matter. I've tried many different options and they all came up with that same darn extra person fee. Lastly, this explanation really doesn't make any sense. Hotels don't need to add fees during peak times. That's what room rates are for. They just change the room rate based on demand. In addition to this phone call, I also separately submitted an inquiry online that was eventually forwarded over to the resort. And 9 days later, yes, 9 days later, I received an email reply from the reservations and e-commerce executive at the property, whose reply did make sense, but honestly I find it not really acceptable. The resort said, and I quote here, "Thank you very much for being in contact through our customer care department. In regards to your doubts about the extra person fee, unfortunately, when a guest makes a reservation through our website, every additional guest is taken as an adult in automatic by the system. Our hotel does not charge for children under 12 years. Please, in case you decide to make a reservation, the best way to make it will be to make the reservation for 2 adults and then add the children's names upon arrival." End quote. In other words, the resort explained that during the booking process, every additional guest, which I assume is every guest after the first 2, is considered an adult automatically, and therefore the extra person fee is incurred starting with your 3rd guest. So even though Marriott actually asks you the age of your additional guests, for some reason that age is not considered when approximating the total cost of your stay. Second, based on the hotel's email response, this fee is avoidable, but only if you know what to do. What happens if you don't know any better and you make your booking with that $690 fee included? Will you actually get charged this fee? I'm not confident that this issue would be recognized by your average front desk employee, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this fee on a final room bill at checkout. I wasn't particularly satisfied, honestly, with the website bug explanation, so I did try to place a follow-up call with Marriott, hoping to understand if Marriott has a process to remediate these type of issues. However, honestly, I did not get very far with the 2 different representatives that I talked to, and I'm taking it as a to-do for myself to research potential ways to submit a ticket or question online about a website issue and see if I can get some kind of answer. So, what have we learned and what does all this mean? I have arrived at 2 simple conclusions. 1, no hotel chain, airline, or similar has all of their ducks in a row. They make mistakes, just like you do and just like I do. And I don't expect every customer service rep to understand every possible intricacy of their particular program, or be able to answer every potential question, particularly from a pest like me, though they should probably think twice before providing some answers to certain types of questions. Now, I think this point is obvious, but I think it is worth noting. Second, as a result, you should question everything. Don't assume everything you see is correct or valid. Ask questions, seek clarifications, and look for explanations. Lastly, have any of you seen this kind of fee before, exclusive of an all-inclusive property where I would expect a hefty charge? If so, please comment below. I'm really curious about the prevalence of such a fee and the reason provided by the hotel. And that, folks, is the end of our show. I want to add in a brief Q&A feature on this show in the future, so please ask questions in the comments below, and I will try to answer a few in the next couple of episodes. You can find us here on YouTube and also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at these locations. And we also have provided links below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you folks next time.